Yo, welcome back to the best show in Atlanta. I'm your host, Nigel Armani. Listen, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the best show in Atlanta. Also, if you can, go on the website at unspokenatlanta.com and get your merch, man. We got different colorways on the hoodies, crew necks, t-shirts, all type of stuff on there, man. So if you can support, man, go to unspokenatlanta.com, check out the Unspoken Atlanta collection, and get your merch today. Enjoy the show.
Hey, Nigel. Did too hard, bruh.
Super honored, man. Shout out Nigel. Shout out everybody here. Shout out Unspoken. We in the A.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the best show in Atlanta. I'm your host, Nigel Armani, and today, man, we got another special guest, man. One good friend. I just met her for the first time today, but the vibe's been vibing, so we gonna get started. But how you doing, Les?
I got it. First of all, best show in Atlanta. Hold up.
That's the slogan, though. Yeah.
That's the best show in Atlanta?
Welcome to the best show in Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh, I thought Talk Less show was the best show in Atlanta.
Hey, that's how you supposed to be.
That's how it's going.
That's how it's going. Going. But yeah, so today today is our first time meeting, but we've been trying to get her on the show for a little while, man. First of all, I do want to say that I have watched your show. I do feel like your show is very good.
What was your favorite episode?
Charleston White.
Really?
Only reason I say that is because of when I think it's the guest that makes the episodes sometimes. That's
Has
how
to
I look
be,
at it. But when it comes to Charleston White, like as crazy as he says sometimes, like he be making sense to me like a lot. Like he's like I put him, Orlando Brown, Ray J, like they masters of like the
Manipulation.
not manipulation, but they're the masters of like knowing how to make shit go viral, like clip farming. You know what I'm saying? But they know how to like say stuff, and you could tell they got some common sense though. Like you can really tell.
I think he's an extremely intelligent person. He knows how to have a conversation. We had a great conversation. There's a lot more that happened with the episode afterwards, but like it definitely put me on the map. I'm not gonna lie. But also I feel like not just the guest that made the whole show, it was the way that I handled the whole experience, because when you watch the episodes of Charleston White, a lot of people walk out or people are getting mad or they're getting emotional. I was just like, okay, I'm going to let you speak and let you, explain yourself, because a lot of stuff that he says, it does make sense. But the delivery, though, is very aggressive.
Yeah, he like Kanye West with delivery.
Right.
Yeah.
But the problem is that was the whole point of the episode. Because when I watched this episode with Cam Newton, the first thing that I've noticed is that like Cam was not letting him speak, and Cam was not listening to whatever he was saying. Like Cam was he had his agenda that he wanted to push, which is great. I love that. And that's probably what makes his show so special. But to me, I wanted to give him the room to speak. And I got a lot of heat from, some people who were my friends that were saying that like, who do you think you are? Why are you like participating in this whole like conversation about Black communities as a white looking woman? And I'm like, I get it. But that's like, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
Another person is not doing that. I got an opportunity to do that, and I decided to take a leap and go into it.
Well, with him, you got to ask the type of questions because that's his brand, but that's what he do all the time. So I wouldn't necessarily been watching you and say it's kind of feel offended by it. Like, now I do know why people do feel offended by it or why they would, but when you're looking at the context of the overall episode, like you got to ask some questions there. If you like, I as a podcaster, I hate like holding back on questions because when they leave, it'd be somebody like BC or somebody be like, bro, you could have went harder than what you went. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I try my best to like to try to ask as many questions as I can.
Yeah.
Even if it may be a little controversial, I do kind of like try to watch maybe how I ask the question a little bit, or try to frame it so that the person I'm asking don't feel some way about it. But I definitely want to feel something about it.
But I feel like that's the job of a podcaster.
Yeah.
You don't take things personally.
Yeah,
so whatever, and if you're agreeing to come on the show, you need to be prepared that okay, like they're gonna ask me questions, and I can't be Kim Kardashian out here like giving this PR response. Like if I'm agreeing to do it, and if I'm agreeing to go into this media space, then I'm signing up for having my life exposed to the levels that, and also to the hate that's gonna come.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it. I'm actually like I always laugh. Like every time I get some mad comments, I'm like, man, this is hilarious. The people always tell me lose weight, stop playing tennis, quit doing this, your show is nothing, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, well, thanks for watching.
The thing about it is like that's letting you know right now you're getting engagement. That's the important part though. Like,
I love it.
If you get in the comments and you getting the people saying whatever, like that's why I had some people like on my other show when we first started. I used to get like real like upset about like comments, stuff like that. It used to bother them, but I used to be like, you can't look at that. For one, you said it, whatever. So you kind of gotta you gotta take a little responsibility behind yourself. One, and then two, if you're getting comments that mean that they're enjoying it. Like the best part about what makes people go viral is the hate shit. Like the hate shit is you can look at it and you can do one or two things. You can take it for what it is, or you can look at it and just say like, hey, that's part of the game. Like we just talked about. So I don't think you should be discouraged about that. You just keep it going. I think you think you're doing a great job. We had some talks before already about your trials and tribulations that you've been
It's
going
pissing
through.
me off. The numbers are pissing me off. But see, my problem is I'm too ambitious.
Yeah.
I'm too crazy. I want things too much. And if I want something, I'm so like addicted to it that I can't let it go. Until I work it out, like I
You gotta
can't
find
stop.
a balance between, because I used to be like, I ain't gonna say I used to be like you. I used to be like, the numbers is everything, but sometimes like you gotta. It can't always be about the numbers. How you gotta look at it. You gotta like, cause for me, I like the production of it. Like that's my thing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, so I kind of use that as a way to kind of like not always go off of numbers. Like I just want to make sure everything looks good, everything sounds good, conversation good, and if you be consistent enough, it's gonna. That's how I look at it. Now, I ain't saying don't put no money behind it or whatever. But that's how I kind of do it. It kind of, I guess, rest my mind a little bit. But I do understand when you are investing a lot of money and time and energy in something, you definitely want it to happen. But you also got to stop something. I'm not to cut you off. I had to stop comparing myself to other people too.
Oh,
Like,
I don't
watching other
compare.
people's
Nah,
pods and
that's
then
not
saying
the
it's supposed
thing.
to be me.
What pisses me off, and I'm gonna tell you guys in the camera, is when I have a guest on and then you reach out to the guest and you tell them how much you love the episode and you don't comment, you don't tell me that. And thank God, all my guests are good people. They're gonna tell me that they loved it or whatever response that they got. But it pisses me off. It's like, just tell me that.
Yeah.
But then I also know, because I bring I bring hotties on my show. Like, people are good looking, men and women. They're good looking, very successful. So I'm like, okay, great. Well, you're welcome. I'm giving you more DMs. I'm giving you more attention. I'm giving you more love. It is what it is. But it pisses me off sometimes. And but the thing is, I also get so much love though. Like, I get the biggest support on my social media. Because sometimes I'm a very anxious person naturally. Like, I'm very much like, okay, like, if shit is not going right, like, I'm a freak out. And that's just the normal process for me. Like, I've already accepted it. That's how I live my life. And then people are going to reach out. Like, this morning, I was like, man, this shit sucks. Like, I'm so pissed. I'm like, man, this episode does not do numbers. There's a lot of doubt that I have. And then all of a sudden I'm going to get a message that, hey, like, I've been loving your content. Your content is dope. Or, hey, I got a call this morning from my photographer. He was like, hey, I'm wearing the merch. This is like the dopest thing I've ever worn. Like, I'm loving what you did. Hey, like, the lawyer that sponsored my episode, hey, they want to order a bunch of shirts. And I'm like, okay, thank God. So it's like, it's all coming and it's all coming at the right time. So I can't say that. Like, I know I always say like, oh, I'm gonna quit. I ain't quitting. I'm just talking.
Yeah, you just
I'm
gotta
a talk less girl, okay? I talk less.
You gotta get it off your chest. Now, I'm with you. I feel like every podcast is going through this. Like, that's why everybody, like, honestly, that's why a lot of people quit it. Like, it's the not making the money instantly. It's the all it takes to do this. Like, they have this to be able to set the camera, to be able to have a producer. We just talked about you need to fire mine, but like, just. But you deal with that. Like, you deal with a lot of different stuff. Like, you just gotta go through it. But I just feel like, you gotta just find a balance of like the hard work, but also you gotta give yourself some grace too as well. Because we all need it. We all go through shit. Shit happen. And so that's how I kind of like do it for myself. I've been doing it for a while, so I know how you feel. Every time you talk, I feel like I'm looking at myself. Like, that's why I explain it that way. But
I'm very emotional too, so that's what people don't understand. They're like, every time.
What's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay.
I'm a fire. Like, I will explode, but then it's gonna be like a slow burn. But I'm a lover though. Like, I'm very much, when I say things, I'm like, it's more towards me because I'm frustrated. But at the same time, I'm like, I get it. I'm not gonna give up. Like, I'll be in tears and I'll be like, that's fine. I'm gonna edit this stuff. And like, I'm just very like, that's how I literally do everything. I freak out and then everything is fine. Everything is fine. But it's just because
You think it's like you gotta have that release?
Yeah, I have to, because if I'm gonna hold it in, then that's gonna get worse. Like, that's even, with playing tennis, it's the same thing. Like, man, the patience that my coach has is, he literally deserves a trophy for that, because he's just so patient with me. And it'd be to the point where I'd be like, I can't hear nothing that you're saying. I'm just losing my mind, and it is what it is. And he's just like, okay, I'm gonna shut up, and he'll keep going. So it's like, it all comes from tennis. Like, and I've been like that since I was a child. So that's why I called the show "Talk Less, Do More," which makes no sense, because it's like, because it doesn't say less with two S's. It says talk less, so it means that I talk a lot, but I also do a lot. So, and that's just that I actually created that because men talk so much and they don't do shit.
So by you saying that, you talking to men.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess
I'm talking to men, and I hope that they buy the shirts so they can start talking
Make sure
less
you get
and
the
doing
merch.
more.
Make sure you get the merch. Well, shoot, you said you just started it. What year did you start it? And what was your main reason behind starting
The
your
podcast?
Yeah.
I started 2025 February. It was honestly I was just doing it on YouTube Live. I was just talking to people on YouTube Live, and it was just a fun thing to do. And I never honestly, you would have told me a podcast in 2024, I would have said there's a million of podcasts out there. Why would I even have a podcast? It doesn't make any sense. I wanted to do a show that had to do something with tennis, and then I just like start doing like those, like the dual live on YouTube where it's like you and another person that can go live. And we were on live just like shooting the shit, and somebody was like, well, you should call the show Talk Less and then just have people on. So I was like, well, let me do it. So I did it for like six weeks. And then I had a producer reach out to me, like a real producer who has been reaching out to me because my shit was going viral at the time, like crazy viral. My tennis stuff was like bananas. And he goes, hey, you need to do your makeup, because I was sitting on my couch in my living room. He's like, do your makeup, dress nicely, get in the studio. And he gives me the studio to go to. And I'm like, okay. So I go there and I film my first episode. The first episode didn't even know what I was talking about. The first episode was with Finesse. Finesse was my first guest, and because it's a friend of mine. Yeah. So we're sitting there. He's like, man, ask me some questions. Because like me and him, we're just like, we're always just going to play dumb. Like we're always talking shit. So it's just like how we've had the dynamic. And then it's just kind of like, I was like, okay, well, now I'm doing this. So let me have another guest. Let me have another guest. And then it's just kind of like, kept going, and now I'm too deep into it to the point where I'm not giving up. Like it's so fun. Like you're saying, you love the production. To me, when I get to do the interview, because I don't just do the interview, I'll prepare for it. I'll make sure that I have the questions that I want to ask the guest. I'll make sure that I do my research on the person. You know, I'm a heavy user of ChatGPT, so I will literally like create questions based on, I'll give you guys some tea. I love the book called Super Communicators, one of my favorite books in the world. So a lot of my questions there are based on that book, because they kind of go deeper into not just like, hey, why'd you do this? Or like one of the questions that asked Charleston White was, how did it make you feel to go from marble floors to the bunk bed? That's like a super communicator style question. And I'm just so used to doing that, because that's how I am in life too. And I feel like it's been very helpful, because even again, like going back to Charleston White, a lot of people reached out and they said that, hey, we've never seen an interview like that, because it was just like a completely different character that we saw. It was like a real human that was talking, instead of like Charleston White as a character.
You think you're getting better and better at interviewing?
Yeah. But so my background is in tech sales, right? So I've been doing sales for a very long time, like almost a decade at this point. So I'm very used to doing discovery. I'm very used to asking questions. And I'm going to try to dig deeper into the pain of like, why you're trying to purchase this? And do you even need to purchase that, right? So like, I've done that my entire life. And then when I started doing the interviews, I'm like, oh my God, it's the same thing as doing sales. So, and then I was like, you know what? This is something that I really enjoy, and I've always enjoyed, but now like I don't have to sell you nothing. I just need to get to know you and like get to the bottom of knowing you as a person. That's why, like, especially like when we're talking about NBA players, that's like one of my favorite questions to ask. Do you think people hang out with you because of you, or because of what you got, and what's your status?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I've been working on my interview style. But I do like watching. That's why I like watching other people's podcasts to kind of see different styles of how they ask questions. Everybody do it differently. Some can do it with no cards. Some of them need cards. That's like certain things that I be thinking about. But I think I've been good at it as well. Though I think it's just when I first started, it was more like conversation based. So I kind of like try to keep it at that. Just try to make it more organic than just having to look down every once in a while. But that comes from just doing it for so long. Like, you just had natural conversation. I think that's the time when you get the best clips, or you get the best organic feel, is when you could just sit down and just talk to somebody. But
so this is a skill that you learn in sales, right? Every discovery call that you have with a potential client, it's always one question, two statements. So whenever I do the interview, I don't just sit there and like, okay, let me torture you with questions. I will ask them a question, and then it's going to be a natural conversation. But then I always have cards with me, because I'm prepared for the interview, right? So I know what topics I want to cover. I know where I want the interview to lead, but it's still going to have a natural conversation to it. Because to me, I feel like that's the best way to actually get to know a person. If I'm just going to sit here and question question, a person is going to feel like, damn, like this is interrogation at this point. You know, I really want to have some sort of bounce back and something where we can pick off, like, because you never know where conversation can go, right? A lot of times you write the questions, the questions are going to be answered during, you know, in one question. And so you can get lost with it. So it's a skill that you need to have to like, and you have to practice that skill, like where you can learn how to ask a question, but also give two statements and like also share your life, because then the person is going to be more willing to open up.
Yeah. Then I would just you've been giving me a little game too though. Like for instance, our show is themed off of Atlanta. So most of the time, like we got segments, like we're gonna talk about later on hot spots in Atlanta. I feel like you gotta find ways, just find things to kind of switch it up a little bit, because you got the questions and stuff, but then you can also have your own like segments where you know you're gonna ask everybody that come in here, or like whatever your slogan is, you can have something like we do entrepreneurship highlights. So I might talk about somebody if they start a business, try to get a highlight of their business, why they started it, and try to see it, you know, just try to switch it up a little bit. But I definitely do agree with you. The natural conversation field, the questions, coming up with a couple sub questions, but then also make sure you got your non-negotiable segment that you're gonna have every episode.
Yeah.
To try to get it, because I try to I don't know how long your episode or majority of episodes are, but I try to keep mine like at an hour.
Some of them go for 3 hours.
Some of them, I don't know the way I do it, because I know people got short attention span.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, sometimes I might let it go over, depending on how to feel. It might go 2 hours. But by the time you edit it, you chop it up, it's probably like an hour, 15, hour 30.
Yeah.
So I try my best to kind of like bring it down to at least about 45 minutes to an hour, because I know a lot of people, they'll watch it, but as soon as that first commercial come up, then they click to the next. You know what I'm saying? That's how most people do on YouTube. So, what was my? I had something else I want to ask you too. I want to get in your tennis game too, though. So you a tennis girl. You really like the only girl I really know that's in Atlanta that play tennis. Like,
Really?
for real, like that plays consistently. Like every time I see your stories, you on the tennis court.
Yeah.
I want to ask you what got you into tennis. I know you probably grew up watching it or playing it, but what got you into it?
Oh, I've been playing tennis since I was 4. So I've been doing that since I was a little kid. And it was just my parents, they were going to take lessons because my dad was working at the factory where they just built the first tennis center. It was like 3 tennis courts that we had. And they had like the weirdest surface because it was like, I don't know. It was like I don't even know what's the name of that surface because it doesn't exist. Like it's literally only there because I'm from Siberia. And we didn't have babysitters or like nannies, none of that stuff. You know, everybody was working. So my mom would just take me to the lessons when they were like doing their lessons. So I'll just come with them and I'll just pick up the balls and help them out. And then I just got so interested in it. And like to this day, you know, if I want something, that's where my attention is. I don't care about nothing else. And I think that's how it was with tennis. And I just got so in love with it. And there's like nothing else that I would want to do. I just wanted to go and play tennis. So, and to this day, like tennis is like my therapy. It's the best thing that I could possibly do for my mental health, for my physical health, for anything and everything. And as much as I tried to go away from tennis, but tennis is what got me like literally to this point. That's what it got me here. You know, I wouldn't stay in the U.S. if it wasn't for tennis. I wouldn't be on social media if it wasn't for tennis. You know, I wouldn't be doing a podcast if it wasn't for tennis. So it was just so many things that have led me to the point where I'm now because of tennis. So I kind of was like, well, shit, if God wants me to play tennis, then that's what I'm going to do.
You never try to do professional?
No, I don't want to do that. It's not my dream. And so I don't believe
It's just
in
a hobby.
It's not a hobby. It's like the love of my life that I'm not willing to let go. I don't know how to explain it because it's like, you know how like some people, they love basketball, but they just love playing recreational basketball. Yeah. And then there are people whose dream it is. And I don't want to take it away from somebody's spot because I know if I were to play tennis, I'm going to do it as business. I'm going to get sponsors first. You know, I'll have a whole plan figured out. And I know that I don't need to do that. I can do it with the way I'm doing now with content and just helping people out. Like every time I see kids who are playing and like, you know, they don't have tennis rackets or shoes, so I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna connect you with my sponsor. I'm gonna make sure you go there, but now I'm gonna need you to do this and this and that. So I'll teach them how to do it so they can get the stuff because tennis is a very expensive sport. So, and a lot of kids, especially in Atlanta that play tennis, they don't have the money to do it. So I don't want to take it away from them, but I can be useful and beneficial to them versus me going and playing because it's like.
What about coaching though?
The what?
What about coaching?
Culture what?
Coaching.
Coaching?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to coach, but I don't want to do it. I overdid it. It's too much because, you know, you got to be on the tennis court and then it becomes like thing that you do for money. Now you don't want to play unless you're getting paid. It's kind of like, I'm sorry to say it. It's kind of like sex work, you know, like you don't want to do it because if you're not getting paid, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just doesn't make any sense. So it's the same thing with coaching. I don't mind it. Like I coach here and there if people really want me to coach, because I'm a great coach. Like I'm actually really, really good at coaching, but I just don't see a point in it right now.
How long you been in Atlanta for?
3.5 years now.
What made you move down here?
Nothing. The war started between Russia and Ukraine. I was living in California. I was just like losing my mind because it was like the most heartbreaking thing that could possibly happen, because it's like your entire life becomes a lie. Like everything you've known just is a lie. All of a sudden, like the sister country is fighting. Like what? Like this makes no sense. So I went to Hawaii. I quit my job and I was like, what the fuck do I do with my life? And my biggest fear was to move. And I was like, well, why don't I go into my biggest fear? And I just happened to go to Atlanta so much that year because like I met a guy in LA who was from Atlanta. And he was like, well, come out here. So I came out for Valentine's Day. I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. Nothing worked out with the guy. Came back here again. And then I was like, man, this is so fun. Then came out again. And then I just kind of felt like it was the best place to be because I was in my 20s back then. So I was like, this is a great place for me to be, to live in the city, but also have, such a green environment around. So I could like be in the city, but also have kind of nature around me. And then I could just change my environment. And so I just decided, I literally broke my lease, had to pay that amount of money to break the lease in California. Don't do that. It was not worth it. But yeah, I had to break the lease and then just put my dogs in my car.
If you go back, you would just wait till the lease is over with, then move down here?
I mean, I probably would have waited because my lease was up in February. And if I waited till February, I would have gotten a cheaper rate for rent here and probably would not. But I mean, again, if I want something, I'm going to make it happen. I don't really care what it's going to take, money, whatever. Like, I don't see, like, that does not become a problem. The problem becomes is that I want it. How do I make it happen? So I just made it happen because to me, it was like such a quick thing. I decided to move in, I think it was like April, May, and I was out of California by August. So it was like a super quick thing where I sold, like, I literally just had enough time to sell everything. Literally told everybody, people were like, you are not moving. There's no way. Because I've always said I'm not going to move. I was going to live in California. And then just all of a sudden I was like, I'm going. They're like, you're not doing it. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And I got into a lease here and then just left.
How was your, because I feel like everybody got different experience of Atlanta when they first moved down here. So I was going to ask you, how was it when they either come to like making friends or just adjusting to Atlanta?
At first, see, my problem was that I was going out. I was outside. Like, I was literally outside. And because only people I knew were promoters. That's literally the only people that I knew. So I was like, well, I might as well just go out and meet some people. And then I ended up going out so much that I overdid it. And I was like, man, I hate this because, like, I don't want to be in that environment. I don't really feel fulfilled in that environment. I like very wholesome things. So to me, I was like, I don't want to get lit all the time. I don't want to be out on the streets. Like, it's just not. And it's like you're always meeting somebody, you're always talking to somebody. It's just, I overdid it. And then it just happened to come across people who wanted to get into tennis. And so my first year, I was just like working out in the gym and, kind of like meeting people that way. Then I got a membership at Lifetime, met a lot of people at Lifetime. And then I got into tennis and then I unlocked a whole different level of Atlanta. Like at first I got into golf actually, and I've always wanted to get into golf. So I got into golf, started playing golf, and then tennis just happened to come back around because I stopped playing for years. So I picked up my racket again and then I was like, whoa. And then it was just like the whole new level of Atlanta. And I fell in love with Atlanta at that point. Because to me, it just became this super green space. It's beautiful. It's, people are actually so much nicer here than out in the West Coast. The food is great. Just everything, like, I feel like everything is times 10 here than out in California. Because California was a little bit, it's a little fakeish. So I just, also, like the amount of people that are making it without being in corporate and being entrepreneurs, being, in their own lane is, you do not get the same grace out there. Like there, unless you work for a big tech company, like my dream was to work for the company that I'm employed at now. It was my dream. Like I want nothing but that company, and I got it, and I hate it. I hate it. It's the worst company I ever worked for. It's something that I wish I would never do, but it is what it is. It happened, and but that was like back then, that was the only thing that I wanted, to be in tech, to be like employed by this big company, make like 150, 200. That was the dream. If you make 150, 200, you're good.
You're definitely good here.
Here? I don't think so anymore. Not anymore.
I think you'd be okay if you made 150 here.
I mean, it depends.
It depends on where you
it depends what you do for a living, okay?
Yeah,
because
mean,
if we are doing this, then 150, you are barely making it, okay? Because
sure.
Your bills are paid, and then you have to pay for all this other stuff. And if you're not making more, then you're literally in the red.
Right?
Right. So it's like there's a lot of other factors. In California, 150, you were literally, maybe you'll have a meal out once or twice a month, but still, because like.
You think it's more expensive? You think it's more expensive here than it is in LA?
No, it's not. It's not. Obviously, LA is more expensive, and I was living in the Bay. Bay is even more expensive than LA. But it's just the lifestyle, like the things that I want in life. They're much more expensive than what a regular person wants. And I always get compared to that, and it's okay. But there's nothing regular and average about me. I'm 6'2". I'm not 5'7" girl or 5'5", whatever the fuck. There's nothing regular about me. Right. So I've always wanted more and bigger and better, and it's just I can't stop, and that's my problem.
Shit, hey, all right, bye. Bye. I gotta make another one tonight. Hell yeah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
Another characteristic about you is this probably wouldn't be a characteristic everybody noticed, but I love how nervous I make you.
And the fact that she know that is crazy though.
I love that.
This damn dating, social media world, dating app world, they're trying to make that reality like that. Shout out to the Balloon Pop Show, it's a cool show. But the concept of it shows you that they're trying to take online dating and make that reality. Popping the balloon is no different than swiping.
For you too. Like you're completely detached from the situation. You want them to move on.
Hey man, welcome to the best show in Atlanta.
People who think about moving to Atlanta, I can get some tips. I'm from here. Mm-hmm. You moved here. If you can get some tips to people who think about moving to Atlanta, what would you tell them to do?
Get a hobby, get into sports, like get into tennis, pickleball, golf, because first of all, it's affordable here. Let's be very real. It's very affordable here. And there is a big community for anything. Run clubs, you don't even have to pay for that. Yeah. Run clubs are on every single corner. Gyms are affordable. California, man, if he knew how much they charge in California, he'd be like, God damn, I'm missing out on money, because it's a lot of money that they're charging. Like I used to pay my trainer almost like the amount of money that I'm paying here for rent. That's how much I used to pay my trainer out in California, you know? So it's a lot of, there's a lot of things that you can do here. It's just based on your interest, but get out of your house. Go Beltline. Oh my God.
Beltline,
I am so sorry, but I've not seen a concept like that anywhere in the US. Like that's one of the best concepts that you can possibly find. You just go out, you take a walk, and you meet so many people. Yeah. You go to and like even if you're antisocial, you'll still meet somebody who's just as antisocial and reading a book next to you, you know? It's like it's such a different vibe from anything else. And I've always kind of been a person like I like things that are like more private and exclusive, but I don't mind going on Beltline. I feel like there's life.
No, I was gonna agree with you. I was gonna say like going to the gym. I went to Lifetime about a month ago, and I already know what to be on. Like, some people you can meet in there, some relationships, especially depending on what you're doing for like work. Like if you're trying to meet, you can meet anybody from a damn record producer to a tennis player to anybody in there. So I'm saying like that's I know everybody can afford Lifetime, but that's a good spot if you really want to like meet like genuine like people that's actually doing things in there. The thing about it though is like if you're not from here, you kind of just don't know how to like move. Like that's why I asked you that, because everybody don't know how to like move in Atlanta. Like I always say, like Atlanta's one of the spots where you can see a celebrity at the grocery store, and just because you see them all the time, it's not like a big deal. But if you're not from here, it's gonna be a big deal. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to like handle their stuff. Just knowing when to speak, when not to speak, when to pull up, when to not pull up. It's just a thing that I think people gotta get used to, because they seeing a lot of success stories from Atlanta, and so they be like, if they could do it, I could do it. But you gotta have a little hustle too. Like it's a little mix of like hustle with a little bit. You gotta have a little personality. You can't be somebody that I feel like that's like to them stuff in their crib all the time, expecting things to like grow quick for people to be friends. And then I hear a lot of things. The reason I bring it up because I hear a lot of stuff on like TikTok, like women be having stories on TikTok like, don't move to Atlanta, man. The people here weird. No, you weird because you don't really know how to like operate. Like,
I think they say dating is weird in Atlanta.
Dating is weird.
But I feel like dating is weird everywhere. And that's where they get it messed up, because I think I had worse experience living in the Bay dating than here. Because in the Bay, every man wants to go 50-50. Every man wants to be, you know, treated like a woman. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm from Russia. Like, I don't believe in all that stuff. Like, I get it. It's very liberal and then more power to them. But I don't subscribe to that mentality. And I think a lot of times in Atlanta but it's not just in Atlanta. I feel like in general, a lot of people, see, I had to learn that as far as you need to have something going on for yourself in order to be in the circles that you want to be in, because a lot of women, especially in Atlanta, they want to be around rappers, athletes, celebrities, but like what you got going on apart from the fact that you're pretty. Okay, you might get in once, you might get in twice, but what is the value of them keeping you around? Like the only value that you have is the fact that they can have sex with you, but they're not going to have sex just with you, but they're going to have sex with 25 million other girls just because they can, and that's it, and they don't have to explain it. And a lot of times there'd be women that, you know, they don't want to do anything, or they're too scared, or they're doubting so much, and they don't want to like start something that because it looks embarrassing. They don't want to post on social media because they're scared what their friends are going to say. Well, fuck them friends. What, are they paying your bills or what? Like, I'm always, but it's true though. Yeah. And so I had to learn it that, like, you know, in 2023, I was outside a lot. Like, I'm telling you, I was out in Vegas, I was out in Miami, I was out in LA, I was out everywhere, just because me and my friend, we've always, you know, we thought it was so fun to just spend time like going out in the clubs. You always meet somebody there, right? Like, always you run into somebody. And like, granted, we're good looking women, we can get in, right? Like, we never had to spend money. So, but every time I'd go out, I'd be like, man, this is so stupid because I'm around all these people, but I'm not getting anything out of them. So like, what am I doing here? Yeah. And then once I started doing social media, once I started doing the podcast, now the conversation is changing. So now if I go out now, okay, if I meet somebody, do you want to come on my show? You know, do you want to do a collab? Is there a business opportunity out there? So now I have more value to the people, and people have more value to me. Yep. It's not just me being a pretty girl that's coming out to just party and take shots. Like, I don't need to do that. I don't even drink like that anymore. I don't even, like, I got it out of my system, and I think it's important to get it out of your system. But like now, man, no, what are we doing? Like, I'm so big on like, what's the value? Okay, if we're doing this, then like, what do you get out of it? What do I get out of it? And it's not like to sound materialistic, but that's just the reality of life. Because if you're just out there around somebody who is like an NFL player or NBA player, oh, so what? They've got 25 million other girls around. They're just like that. And you want them to treat you special, but why would they treat you special? Have you read a book in the last month or so? You haven't. What are you doing? Like, what is your job? Like, what are you, and especially girls who have like multiple children from multiple baby daddies. Now they want to have some sort of, you know, a man who's out there with, you know, millions of dollars. And it's like, but unless you got something going on for yourself, you literally got no value to that person. Sure, he'll have sex with you, but then what? I'm
going to ask you, going to, like, what's your top three, like, top three spots in Atlanta that you like going to, like, lounges-wise?
Oh, lounges wise, I hate loud music. I hate places where I cannot talk to people. So I'm very big on like going to places where it's just conversational. I love, well, MCK, obviously. Shout out to MCK. It's like my favorite place. St. Regis, and I go to Del Bar a lot. So those are the top three spots where I'd be at. I don't even go nowhere else. Like sometimes I go to the Interlock, to the hotel up there, just because it's nice and it's like a chill vibe.
They used to have it. Well, now they changed the ownership with the rooftop. Now it's I forgot the guy's name.
It's the gathering spot.
Gathering spot, yeah. So, but before that, it was a
rooftop.
It was a rooftop pool area, but you had to like reservations, like,
and it was
to get
obnoxiously expensive.
But that's why they got shut down though, because like Atlanta isn't a spot where you can like do reservations. Like if you don't do reservations, niggas gonna overdo it. People gonna overdo it. Like, it's gonna be too many people there. The way they had it set up, they had like the cabanas. You got about, you know how to do like a regular club, got sections for the cabana. You pay $1,200, you get a bottle of fruit laid out, whatever. And so I guess they were trying to make it exclusive, but by them making it exclusive,
they messed
lost
it up.
Money.
Yeah, they
lost a lot of money, and so they had to sell out. So, but that was a great spot though. I used to go there like at least 2 or 3 times. It was given like how like Lifetime is, like on their pool where they got the bar, everything like that out there.
But Lifetime in the summer be popping.
But that's how that's where
that's where you meet so many people.
That's where you. But I feel like it's like that. I ain't gonna say it's like that at every pool, like high rise pool, but for the most part, Lifetime is like if you want to really have a good time, everything's there. Like you work out, people be staying the whole 12 hours there, work out, steam, sauna, go upstairs. Like be like a lot of like shit you can do around it. So yeah, definitely.
You eat there, like it's a whole vibe. That's why I love Lifetime. Yeah. A lot of times, if I don't know what to do in my life and I'm bored or something, I'll go to Lifetime. Yeah. And all of a sudden, and like it's a fun spot. And like I actually, crazy thing, I don't work out at Lifetime. Yeah. I only do yoga there, but I have a trainer at a whole different gym. Yeah. So, and obviously I train with tennis. So sometimes I'll go to Peachtree Corners location, play tennis there, but I'm just there because of the people or because the food that I want to eat or like the sauna or just like other things that do not involve working out.
How your dating been going on since you been down here?
Dating? I think I'm coming up with conclusion that it's me. I'm the problem.
Okay, why you say that though?
I'm so intense. Like I'm so like if you don't call me for like 2-3 days, bro, forget. Like
No,
just
for sure.
do not even try. I cannot.
So you'd be surprised. Some girls will be like, I think it's a maturity thing. Let me say that because you got some girls that call you a pen pal if you call every day. Then you got some girls that be like, if you don't call me every day, then you know what I'm saying?
I think we have gone so left with social media and dating. We have gone way far left. And this whole thing with women saying you need to treat men bad. Like I had a friend, she was like, you just need to treat him like shit. You need to, why would I treat a person like, I don't need to do that. I got so much shit going on in my life right now. I don't have time to treat somebody bad intentionally so they can like me or love me. No, if you don't like me for me, I don't need this. It's just, it's point blank period. And I don't really, we can be friends and it actually might be a lot more beneficial for you to be friends with me. Right. Than like you trying to date me and then like, obviously now there's a lot of people who are trying to date me because they want to get access to me. And it's like, I prefer when people are real. And I think that's the problem with me where
that's the podcast.
Don't lie to me. Just be real with me and be real with me. Like, and I think at that point you can actually connect deeper with a person where you're being honest. Because a lot of times, men are scared to say like, oh, I just want to, I just want something, I just want to have sex. Well, just say that. Yeah. I mean, just maybe I'm on the same type of time. Right. But men are so scared to say those things because now like there's a standard, there's this and that, or like this whole like, don't text back quick. Like, no, fuck that. If I see a message, I'm gonna respond. Like that thing does not make any sense to me. Yeah. And also a lot of times, like this other guy, he told me something. I was like, he said something about like having sex, and I was like, bro, I don't sleep around. He's like, every girl says that, and I'm like, well, go talk to every girl. I don't have time to sit here and explain to you if I'm saying those things, I mean those things. Right. Yeah, mind you, things can change because now if you're not calling me 3-4 days, I listen on to the next one. I ain't got time for this. So it's like, and I think people are so scared of marriage these days. If you say you want to get married and have kids, it's like a red flag. People want to run the other way.
I got so many mixed emotions about that. Like
about what?
I want to be married. I think people's issue is like, for one, like nobody want to get hurt. That's the one reason. Nobody want to get hurt. We're in a culture, I feel like, where like every little thing is like it's like nobody have no patience with nobody. Like it's like any little thing, like I don't want to talk to her no more, or I don't want to talk to her no more. Like it's like I use the analogy like a buffet. Like we pick something up, we eat it, we don't like it, we put it back. Like that's what everybody is on. Like it's like nobody really just want to get to know and really want to know people. They want instant gratification. But it's like that with everything. But with relationships, it's like you can't do that. Like I feel like people got to be okay with like having conversations. Not, I mean, obviously men are sexual. Men gonna want sex, But knowing how to go about that, like I would never like tell a girl first date like I want to hit. Now I can already tell what I'm gonna hit based off her how the conversation going, how her mannerisms for me to even have to ask for it. You know, sometimes it just be like that. I think after a while, after you get in your 30s, like, date some people, it's like really not even the big thing. But I just feel like that's what most people's problem is, though. I feel like they just don't have no patience.
I think it's patience, but it's also communication. People don't have the skill of communicating anymore.
I think that's when social media mess everything up. Like,
all this women are saying, stop talking to him, like cut him off, this and that. Like, it's so much toxic advice out there.
But they also mad because they feel like it's not enough dudes in the clubs no more. And a lot of women feel like dudes don't approach them no more. Like, I done seen
but why are you looking for a man in a club? I'm sorry.
It's like I done seen videos on TikTok where it's like girls, it'd be a club full of girls, but it just be girls and be like, where all the men at? But y'all don't be
making money?
Making money, but it's like, they complain, but then you know what I'm saying? They complain about that, but they also complain about guys don't approach them.
See, I think the problem is also, and I stopped doing that. I used to do that too. I'm very guilty of that too. When you go out and then you are trying to find a man. You go out because you're baiting.
But where are you going to find a man is the biggest question.
But it's not even that. I think the idea of it is so wrong. If you're going out to have fun, maybe meet up with your girlfriends. Maybe you're going out on a solo date just to go and get a drink by yourself or get a cup of tea, whatever you're drinking, whatever rocks your boat. I used to do that so much where I would just go and like eat somewhere by myself. I literally sit there by myself. And it's great. Like I actually love doing that. And it doesn't mean that I'm trying to find somebody, but I feel like a lot of women, when they go out, they're looking for a man. They're looking they're going to get pretty, they're going to get ready, they're going to look this good, and they're going to smell this good so they can find somebody. Every time I go out where I have no intention of doing nothing, I have the best time of my life. I meet the best people ever. So I stopped going out just to like find a man. And the thing is, like, I feel like once you realize that that's not really if a man doesn't happen in my life, a man doesn't happen in my life. I know I'd be a great wife, I would be a great mother, but if it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be. So I kind of like, I would love to be in a relationship, but at the same time, I don't really have the patience to like teach a man how to love me, which I would do that if it comes down to like a right person, but the person has to communicate that. And I have yet to meet a person who's going to be like overly communicative with me, because it's always, you know, and again, also like the people that I've been dating, it's probably not the best people to do that, because they don't freaking know themselves, you know? So a lot of times like it'd be a fun thing for a week or two. And then after that, you're like, bro.
But how do you like decipher that? Like when it comes to like the men that you dating, whether or not like they're, because the way you saying is like the men that you dating is like they don't have like, they're kind of like shallow or like no personality.
No, I think it's because again, like everything is time, right? Like you're talking about patience, right? So like the first week might be great, and like I see a certain energy that you're giving me. You're texting me, you're calling me. You know, we're going out on like dates and stuff. Like maybe not dates, but like we're hanging out. I kind of slow down on going out too much with men, just because there's a lot of things that could happen, and I don't want nobody to talk about. Like I like to keep my personal life very private, so I don't really want, you know, nobody talking about, because every time I go somewhere with somebody, people are like, oh, are you dating somebody? Like, no, I'm not, but it is what it is. So I'm very like, you know, I'd much rather go get coffee, go get the freaking, I don't know, smoothie, or like maybe hang out in the house, just do something that's very just between me and that person. And then by week 2, communication slows down, and that's how I'm like, okay, the energy is changing, and I don't really, you know, because the thing is like, you can communicate those things and you can say, hey, Les, you know, I'm going through this and this, and like, I just don't have enough time for this, but it's not you, it's just me, and I like you and I want to get to know you. That would be like a whole different story, right? But like, I haven't met a person who would do that, right?
And then try to get to know you properly.
And the thing about me, I'm overly communicative. Like I will literally communicate how I feel. Like there was one guy, I have Raya, so like I matched with him on Raya. And he FaceTimed me, and I'm like, man, his voice is not, I can't, like, it's just not, his voice is like, I just can't, it like sounds like a woman. And it was like too pitchy, and I'm like, I can't do it. And it was just such a boring thing that I'm like, okay, like next, I don't care how good you look, if I can't have a good conversation, it's just, it cannot go nowhere.
How do you feel about dating apps?
Dating apps, I would never do nothing but Raya. I love Raya, but it's more like for me, it's more like a professional thing. Hinge, I would never be on Hinge. I would never be on Bumble. I just feel like it's overwhelming, because like it's like a job. It becomes literally a job where you have to swipe right, and you have to like have a communication with them. And I'm like, I don't know, you know, it's like one thing when you text, then you have social media, then you have to respond to comments, and then you have to be on a dating app. No, it's too much work.
I think for me, I think it made men lazy though, my opinion, because I feel like it's like out of convenience. Like I don't know how rides work, but I know like Hinge or like what's the Bumble, Tinder. It's like whoever lives in the 5-mile radius. Like I feel like it's no, like it makes a man want to. It takes away the pursuit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But it's also, again, like this is the thing about dating too, is like there's so many rules now to you know, how it needs to happen, who needs to. I don't mind hitting a person up first, but if a man calls me and says, hey, I'm gonna call you back, until you call me back, I'm not going to text you, I'm not going to call you. Just because you said you're gonna call me back. So you better call me. I don't care if it takes 10 days, it's gonna take 10 days, but you gotta call me back. Like I'm not, you know, I don't really like when people don't follow up on their words. And like sometimes things can happen, but then like, you know, text me, call me. But like, I still believe in this like old school kind of pursuit. I think that that's like the best thing that can happen. But I'm not saying that like, oh, a woman needs to sit there and like expect a call. Like, no, I'll call you back. Like, I'll text you, but I need to know that you're interested, because otherwise I don't know what I'm doing.
You cool with dudes approaching you like at the gym?
I don't mind it. I do mind it when it comes down to like, oh, you're so pretty, like I want to talk to you. Like, talk to me about something. I don't know. Don't bring up my looks. Don't bring up like, you know. I just think it's such a wrong approach to a woman.
Yeah.
I was
gonna ask you like, what's the proper way to talk to a girl like in the gym? Because I was gonna give you my approach, and then you let me know.
In the gym?
Yeah.
I mean, there could be so many different things. Like you can literally just, I don't know, you can ask about like an exercise. I don't just do something. Yeah. You literally can do the corniest shit ever, because then it's like, it's going to make everybody laugh, because now you're like, you know what's going on. Like,
I think when you in the gym, like what the gym that we go to, like it's more like it's regular conversation. Like you don't even got to necessarily be about the workout. It's gonna get points where we gonna get you a point where we may have the same trainer. What y'all start off with? You know what I'm saying? What y'all start off with? You let me know we talking, or how many you got left? You got one more set on here? Like I'm just like giving stuff like that. Like but it goes from that.
It's
to
so true though.
Like,
So
to having like what you gonna do after this, or what y'all got going on? You want to go get a smoothie or something like that? Like little small stuff, but I know some women don't like being approached.
no.
So that's why I asked.
I sometimes this can happen, and I don't know how it happens, but I sometimes go up to a person as if I know that person, because in my mind I know that person. I've never met that person before in my life.
It's like a family when you in the gym though. Like we all here for one purpose.
Right, like
so it don't feel like
right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh my God, that's the wrong person. But still, I was like, oh, okay. Now we know each other. I'm very like, if I go to a gym, people will know me. I'll know them. Like I'm always talking to people. Unless like when I'm working out, like I'll be locked in. Unless I'm fucking around. If I'm fucking around, I'm fucking around. Like it is what it is. But I'm very like, I don't really think that there's anything wrong to. Like you end up in a room with people for a certain reason. You're meant to be there. So if you like a woman, go approach her, but don't come with like, hey, I'd like to take you out on a date. You're so pretty. No, just go. It's like, she's a regular person. Yeah. Go approach her that like, hey, how are you? Or like, what's your name? I don't know, something like follow each other on Instagram. You don't have to go right for the number because not everybody's comfortable giving out the numbers. Mm-hmm. Get to know her, like go watch her stuff, like see how she's moving. Maybe she's in a relationship, maybe she's not. I feel like that's like the soft approach to everything. And I don't think there's anything wrong to be approached or approach other people, because like I've went and approached men before. Like I don't have any shame in that. If you see somebody who's like very good looking and attractive, I mean, granted, if I like somebody, I'm very like, I get so scared because I'm like, oh my God, what if like it's kind of like a fear of rejection. But then I mean, okay, if they reject you, then what? Shit, right. This is gonna be another one.
You the guy gotta be taller than you to date them?
I don't know anymore.
You know, you're a tall. I mean, let me say you're a tall person. You're not the average girl. So it's like, I'm assuming you talk to nothing but athletes because of your height. Yeah. That's what I'm assuming. Like, I had to guess.
Nothing but athletes, but I definitely do like athletes because I'm an athlete too. So it's like, I feel like we're in the same understanding of how life works, but also like we're in a very different tax brackets usually. And that's when a lot of times I feel like they're treating me less than because, you know, they got this and then I got that. And it's like, I remember one guy that I used to date. He's like a former NBA player. He, this man told me he didn't give me a hug in the gym because he was like, oh, I don't want nobody to like recognize that like, you know, me and you know each other. And I was like, bro, first of all, this is my gym. People know me here. So I should be worried about talking to you versus you being like, however many years ago you've played and like you coming in here in a hoodie, like doing all this shit. I'm like, relax. You're just a human. Like this is, you know, this is a gym where not everybody's allowed in here. Like this is a membership only gym. Like, come on now. So like that made me feel some type of way. And I remember I literally said, I was like, don't ever make me feel like that. I don't give a shit how much money you got because like at the end of the day, we're humans. You know, you and me were made out of the same flesh. So do not do that to me. I don't appreciate that. I don't like that. So like sometimes I would feel that. And I don't like when people make me feel less than. I don't like when people do that. But 6 feet and above, I would say. For me, it's 6 feet and above. Because otherwise, like, I feel so small. I mean, not small. I feel so, like, big compared to a guy. And it's just, no. And also, like, if a man is less than 6 feet and he's walking next to me, his confidence got to be on a whole different planet. Because especially walking next to me, because like
unless you have on heels,
and I usually wear heels too, and that's another thing. And it's like a man has to be okay because he's gonna see somebody who's 6'5", and the 6'5" guy is gonna look at me. Now he has to have confidence that, you know, nobody can like snatch me out, or I'm not gonna look that way because now he's taller and he looks more, you know, my type. So
is it what's the difference between like men in Atlanta and like I guess somebody like from Russia, men from Russia?
No, I would never date a Russian man.
Why not?
I would never. Hell no. He would put me in the house and he'd say, "You shut up. You sit here. I'm gonna make money. You just cook and clean." And
that's not like most dudes with money.
Most dudes with money? Nah.
Is it a difference? It's like a huge difference.
No, I
not
feel like it's,
sit down like you can't have a life, but because I don't know.
A lot of times it's very much like you can't have a life, and I don't want that. I can't. Like I'm way too ambitious for that. Like I can't. And you know, I've seen that happen to my mom and my dad. Like my mom has always been more ambitious, and I just don't think I can do that. Like I can't repeat what they had. So it's like it's not gonna happen. And it's just Russian. Also, I've never dated Russian men. I can't even imagine myself speaking Russian to a person who I like or love. I can't. I would be so embarrassed. I'd be like, no, this sounds stupid. Like, this sounds so corny. I can't do it. But I don't mind man in Atlanta. I feel like it's the type that I've been dating that's like hasn't been the best, and I'm really trying to work hard on changing it. But sometimes, I'm just like I get swayed back into like, oh, look at this, so tall, so somebody, and it's like not that I'm not now. I don't really care so much about like the status that you got, but man, athletes are attractive. Like I can't lie about that. Like they're freaking attractive. Like their bodies are amazing. They look great. Just like when they're all dressed up and it's just this. I like it. Can't help it.
I feel you on that. Well, but I can go to the you did give me 3 spots, but restaurants. We can go to restaurants with the Atlanta hot spots. What's up? You got any restaurants that you would like to recommend to people that's in the Atlanta area?
Del Bar again.
Del Bar, okay.
Halls, Little Alley.
Yeah. Dale's is what? Dale's not a steakhouse, is it?
What?
Dale's.
Del Bar?
Del Bar, yeah, my fault.
It's a Mediterranean spot. They have the vibe is amazing. The food is great there. The price point is like okay. It's not crazy. Like you can actually go and have dinner there. It's like it'd be under $100. So it's good and it's a lot of food. I mean, yeah, I'm more like I like steakhouse food, even though I don't eat meat. But I love steakhouse food because they have mashed potatoes. They always have some sort of salmon or something that's grilled. They have bread. It's like the service is also great. So. I love Little Alley. Halls. Halls is probably my favorite restaurant. And then I really like the Fourth Hotel. They have like good restaurants there. They have the Italian steakhouse and they have the Mediterranean spot on the 2nd floor. And they have a beautiful rooftop. So that's where I'd go. I'm not big into lounges because again, I hate the smoke and I don't like the loud music.
You don't like hookah?
No. I can smoke it here and there. I used to smoke a lot of hookah, but not anymore. You can't breathe. And then you smell like shit afterwards.
Yeah, that's an Atlanta thing, man. I think, but it's changing though, cause not you don't like lounges, but now we're getting to a point now where like, I think we should start bringing back like dance floors. Like,
oh my God, please! Yeah, I feel like it's so lame.
Like, it's crazy. When I was little, my mom used to always say like, the things that I used to do, they like bringing it back. But it's like really like everything really like in rotation. Like it's like a period where dance floors taken away. We was in the hookah sections. I'm thinking about like 4 to 5 years, it's gonna get back to like. Dance floors, less sections, no hookah, like, which I feel like is good. You know what I'm saying? But I just know how Atlanta changing. But I think it's because all the spots that I went to growing up, like they all shutting down. Like either they closing down, they finna make a high rise out of wherever it was at. And so it's like the spots that the people that's generated behind us, they're going to whole new spots. So like now I feel like I'm starting to see like a little change, but.
That's true. Even when I moved here, like Red Martini was a thing, like all those spots, they were a thing. And then I loved going to Red Martini. So now it's shut down. But then again, like now if you go out, it's like, okay, I'm sitting on the couch. Nobody talks to each other. Nobody's dancing. Everybody's just drinking tequila. And it's like, there's no fun in this.
We got to start. I think it's going to have to start with women. I know, unfortunately, people don't want to hear that. But I think women have to like make it okay to approach.
Approach men?
No. I'm talking about to be approachable.
Oh yeah, no, their attitudes.
I think that's where it starts from. Like women are like they wasn't approachable, so like men like, all right, I ain't finna. You gonna act like you don't want to talk to me or you don't want to dance with me, so I'm finna just sit over here. You know what I'm saying? And then it get to a point where we just at a stare. Like you then gotta stare at me in my forehead for me to come over there and talk to you at this point, like so I can know. And even then, I might come over there and you might be like, sure, I got a boyfriend. Like, damn, why you
and she might not even have a boyfriend. She just says it just to say it because that sounds like something. But I mean, again, like I think it's okay because I always say I don't know how men do it when they have to propose because the fear that I would have to just get down.
You gotta know, like you gotta know.
But
it gotta be signs, like damn near. I'm just saying for the audience, it gotta be signs. Like you gotta know she gonna say it. The signs are when she start having random conversations about like a ring size or like. Little stuff like that. Her homegirl's telling you she ready, then she ready. You know what I'm saying?
But still, it's like the whole idea. I get it. No, I get the science and all that. Like, I get it. But the whole idea of you getting down on one knee and asking this hard question, knowing that this is for the rest of your life, like, it is terrifying. I think it was meant to be this way because God knew that you guys can do it. And women, I don't think I could. I would be freaked out. I would be like, hey, I would literally probably have a panic attack there. So, but again, and I think it's hard to go and approach a woman as it is, and now with like the attitudes that women have, and it's just like now nobody's approachable. I'm very nice when people talk to me. Like I'm very, very nice. I don't really, unless like you overly obsessive or overly like doing too much, then I will have like, or if I'm doing something and like you're in my face, it's like, okay, come on now, like read the room a little bit. But if people like walk up to me, if they give me a compliment, if they talk to me, or if they say like they listen to my podcast, I'm always like damn near crying there. Like I'm very, very nice. I'm very approachable. But that does not mean that I'm gonna be like, okay, like, just because you approached me, I'll give you the time of the day, just because there are certain things that need to align. And I feel like a lot of times a lot of men do it just to do it, but there's also like energy that you feel. And like I'm very big on energy, and I know people say that all the time, but the energy will speak louder than the words that you have. Because like some people are just like, this and that, like, oh baby, you're gonna be mine. I'm like, bro, what the fuck, are you gonna forget me tomorrow? Like, what are we doing?
How you be knowing whether or not like a dude is like, I mean, obviously you can tell through like Texas, but like, how do you tell him whether or not he wanted to be serious and he don't?
It's very obvious, because it's like, again, communication fades. Like the texting is like super easy to tell. Every man has a pattern. That's the thing about men, and they don't understand how. Just they're so obvious with their patterns, what you're doing with your day. Like, again, do you want to hang out? Do you want to see each other? Because like I feel like if you're serious about somebody, you do want to spend time with them, because the more time you spend, the faster you're going to get to know them, the more you're going to be like, okay, this is for me, this is not for me. And when they drag it out, and then like all of a sudden they don't have time, but then like they don't have time means that they have other girls that they're trying to like go talk to, and then they always want to have access to you, so they want to make sure that they're going to like give you a little breadcrumb so they can get back, and like they can just have access to you. And again, if you don't put there's boundaries for everything. That's why I always say, like, every time I start talking to any man, I say, I'm intense. I'm a lot. I'm very affectionate. I'm very loving. I'm very clingy. If you're not with the vibe, just don't even start, because it is what it is. And I know women, they're trying not to be clingy. They're not trying to be like, affection. No, that's just how I am. So I will let that be known the first day that I'm talking to somebody, because, some men, they don't like to be affectionate, and that's okay. But it just doesn't mean that like we're not going to vibe, because I can't be with a man that's not affectionate. Like if I'm out with you, you better be like all over me. Like that's how I like it with my man. So that's why, every time I go out, like I can't really be dating like that in like public, because it's gonna be very obvious.
It's gonna be
and then like 2 weeks later it doesn't work, and then it's like, damn.
Man, I
just wasted. Right.
I was gonna say, you only date. Well, I know you dated black men, but you only date black men.
I only date black men. I can't see myself with a white man. Like, what am I gonna do with a white man? And everybody tells me, you need to date a white man. What am I, like, find me a white man that's even my size. Let's start there. That's like my size or taller. And if he is taller, most likely that man is outside. And he probably gets so many women just because of the fact that he's a tall white man that's probably like somewhat good looking. And the man that, of the financial status that I want, like, no, I'm not trying to date no, Wall Street boy. Like, it's not happening. Can't do that. Also, I'm not attracted to white men. I don't know what it is. Like, I just don't find them attractive.
Well, I'm gonna ask you, what's the difference between being here, men in Atlanta, and men in LA?
Oh, like I said, I think that they're very like too liberal out there. They want to split the bill. They want to, It's
you were saying LA there, but you talking about
in
LA
the Bay,
earlier.
yeah. They're like, well, they basically everything is 50-50. It's just very like, it's so liberal to the point where I don't even know what's the point of being in a relationship, because it's not like I'm in a relationship just so a man can like pay for something. It's not that. It's like, if we're doing 50-50, which is, I guess like I'll take that, because then I'm paying 50% less of my bills. But at the same time, like, I don't think that that's how a man is supposed to be. Like, especially in the beginning, I don't think that that's how it's supposed to be. I am not going out on a first date where a man is going to be like 50-50. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to take the bill, I'm going to take care of it, and he will never see me again. And I will make a point that I'll be like, don't worry about that. You don't need to pay your 50.
See, I don't understand the 50-50 on dates.
I think first date, I don't care what it is. A man is supposed to cover the bill. It is what it is.
Man, I've never done that. Like, I don't agree with that.
And okay, I have never been on the date like that, but I've been on one time. I had this whole thing happen to us in LA when I was out with my friend, and she was this guy wanted to take her out on a date, but we had a group trip, so she was like, hey, if you want to come out, like, you can go have dinner with us. The bill was $93. So it was me, her, and the guy, and then another friend of ours. So it was like 4 people. The bill was $93. This man looks at the waiters and goes, Can we
split
split it
that?
3 ways? I said, baby, I'll take
Yo.
it. I'll take it. Cause he also told my best friend who's a lawyer, we're at the Soho House. He goes, well, I don't think they're gonna give you a membership here because you're not a creative. And she goes, I'm a lawyer, bro. Like, I don't know who the hell you are, but I passed the California bar. And I'm like, yeah, this shit is over with. I can't. Like, I remember I took my card and I said, hey, I'll pay for the bill. And then we went out to get drinks after. And he was like, oh, like, the bill was coming. And I was like, don't worry, I already took care of it. Cause I'm like, I'm not about this whole splitting thing. And like, if you can't afford to pay $100, then don't go out. Like, why are you inviting people to the Soho House? Like, just don't do it. So it's like, to me, it's a point. And I'm the same way. Like, if I can't afford to go out somewhere, if I can't afford to pay for it, I'm not going to go. Cause why would I do that?
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit. We was talking about the podcast stuff. Cause I want you to give game to people who like are in Atlanta. I know we talked about things you can do to kind of like make friends out here, but from a networking standpoint, what's your vibe when it comes to networking in Atlanta? When it comes to even like your podcast and if you could give people some advice on how to navigate that.
Well, again, I always say, what is the value? Like, always think about what's the value that you're bringing to people, right? Like, if somebody were to meet you today, what's one thing that you can give them? Is there like, even if you don't have a podcast, like, what do you do for a living? Maybe there's a skill that you know. Maybe there's something that you can do. Maybe you play a sport. Maybe you like to read books. Maybe you like to, I don't know, skateboard. Something like, maybe you like dogs and you can dog sit. There's something that you can do for other people so they can know that in case, let's say that, like, okay, let's go very simple. You love dogs. Okay, so now if I meet you, you say, hey, like, I seen you have a husky. I love dogs. And I would say, listen, if I'm traveling, can I have you babysit my dog? Okay, great. So now in the back of my mind, I know I can go to you because you can babysit my dog. So like, always you need to find a point of connection, whatever that is, because obviously not everybody's going to be in podcasting space. Not everybody is going to be in, higher circles around, this people. Like, you can just be a regular person who has a corporate job and you might be like, I don't know, like a financial analyst or you're a data analyst or something, or you might be like a social media manager, something that you're doing that you can be valuable to other people. So you always have to have a little pitch about yourself, what you're doing and how you can be valuable to others. And then that way I feel like you can really, really thrive in the space. And it doesn't matter. Like, again, I have people who it's kind of crazy. Like I have a pretty solid network, right? And sometimes I would have the other day, like this one person called me, was saying like, hey, one of my friends is trying to get into music. I'm like, well, bet I know this guy who's a producer. And he's like, oh, for real? I'm like, yeah. So I connect them. And now they're like, the producer's trying to shop around for the guy who's making music. And I'm just sitting there. I was like, wow, this is so crazy because I've been in Atlanta for 3 years. This person has been living in Atlanta forever and like also is a very high status and has a lot of money. How come you don't know a producer and I know a producer? Wow. And it's somebody who's a friend of mine.
Like I was saying earlier, I agree with that. I think Atlanta is different. That's what makes Atlanta different. I feel like even like how we even connected, like, you seen my Instagram, so you can see who I was probably following, so that made you more inclined to pull up. But it's like when you go out, especially when you in certain spaces, like everybody know everybody. Like I've seen you with a few people that I've already had on my show, so vice versa. That's how I know how to navigate, know how to know when to ask and who not to ask. But what I would say is, man, I think that if you come down here, if you got to hustle or find a niche, that's the biggest thing. Find a niche. If you can find a niche, it's a lot of things going on within that niche. Like you were saying, you could, from dogs to podcasting to music to fitness. Like, it's like all the way around. Like, if you in certain spaces and after I see you 2, 3, 4 times, it just makes it more easier for me to ask you. And like you said, if you can bring some type of value to it, then it's always gonna be a spot for you. And everybody like I think the best part about Atlanta is everybody like to collaborate.
But people are super collaborative here, and I think people get it mistaken. A lot of times they're like thinking about the niche that it has to be something so grand or something so like again, niche can be something that you just like doing, because everybody. And the thing is, I thought that when I started posting tennis stuff, I thought that was like my niche. So like I have to be in the tennis space, and then the more I started posting like the podcast stuff and other stuff, like now I'm a girl who has a podcast and plays tennis. Like I'm a tennis girl who is doing a podcast. So that's my niche. And so like today I had a conversation with somebody who's trying to hire me for one of the events. And he's like, you're one of the few people who is an athlete, but also has a personality and has a podcast. So like now that's my niche. So you don't need to see like, a lot of times like there would be like, oh, it's a niche, like it's a doctor or a lawyer. So now, no, you can be a funny doctor. You can be a funny lawyer. Lawyers have life. Lawyers have personality. Doctors
like the
have.
dude who be dancing and be on the Weather Channel. I forgot. You know what I'm talking about? It's a dude that be on the Weather Channel, but he be doing like all the like dances and stuff like that.
You go on TikTok, there's so many lawyers and doctors that are doing other things than just being like, they show their personality.
That's what it is, though. Find a way to show your personality.
Right. And the thing is, like, not everybody needs to have a bubbly, outgoing personality because that's not personality of everybody. Sometimes you need to calm and collected. And some, like, the Nara girl, the one that cooks and she's always dressed up and she's so quiet, that's a different person. She's not a bubbly and outgoing personality. She's quiet. She's very classy. She's very composed. And look at her blowing up. Not everybody can be Chrissy, the one that's like throwing shoes everywhere. Like that's a whole different level of. But again, it's just their personality, and I feel like if you're being authentic, if you're being who you really are, it's a whole different ballgame. Because I'm like today, I was like, man, I'm losing my mind, and that's just what I'm feeling today, and it is what it is.
How you if you can give advice on how to get a sponsor the proper way?
Pitch it. Keep posting. That's number one thing. The way I got my sponsor. Actually, the first sponsor that I've gotten, my very first sponsor was at Lifetime, again, network. I got my first sponsor at Lifetime and I literally walked up to him and I said, Adam, I am going to record my very first episode in the studio and I'm terrified for my life and I don't know how I'm going to afford this and I'm not sure what I'm even doing and I'm doing this podcast and this is the guest that I have coming on and this is the second guest that I have coming on. I would love for you to sponsor it if you are willing to do so. And I know you have a tequila brand. So my first sponsor was Classy 1111. They covered the studio expenses for the first season.
Oh, 1111. Shout out to my boy, man. We went to high school together.
Yeah. So Adam was the one that I've been working with. And
promoter. It's making sense now. Okay.
So Adam was, and I met him in Miami a couple of weeks prior to that. So I met him in Miami because we went to Art Basel that year. And so we just kind of connected because we went to one of his events in Miami. And then he said, Bet, I'm going to be there. And he's like, when are you filming? I said, tonight. He's like, okay, I'm bringing 4 bottles. And literally, that's how the sponsorship started. So, but again, I feel like when you're doing sponsorships, you need to be face to face a lot of times, and don't try to shoot for the stars because it's not. If you try to shoot for the stars, a lot of times it's not going to work. Like I'm still not being able to get big brands to sponsor me. They can send some PR stuff, but they're not going to sponsor me because I'm not big enough for them. Like they don't really care about my numbers, my little bitty whatever Atlanta numbers. They don't care about that. They want Jake Paul numbers. You know, they want the big ballers. That's and rightfully so.
I get it. Yeah.
So the second sponsor that I have, Brandon Dixon Law Firm, that's been one of the biggest sponsors of the show. I met him at the Falcons game. And he recognized me from the Falcons game. And then, because he kept watching me, and he said, hey, I want to sponsor you. It's all about going there and asking, like literally asking. And a lot of times have a pitch deck ready. And pitch decks need to show your numbers, your vision, what you're trying to use your money for, how you're going to use your money, and what are you asking for? Like, what do what's the amount and what are you going to deliver? So because like I come from a business world, but I still to this day, I have mentors that I talk to all the time. And I still have yet to get my pitch deck for the podcast. I have one, but now I need to refine it, make it more visual, make sure that like people can see what I'm actually doing, like the production of everything. In Atlanta, you got to be very careful because there's a lot of scammers out here, a lot of social media managers, a lot of people people have never had a real job in their life. Yes, they probably got one client and they became somewhat successful, whatever. But and there are some people who are great at what they're doing and they're just super experts in their fields. But especially when it comes down to marketing, everybody is a marketing expert. But one thing I'll tell you, do it yourself first. Literally get your feet wet and then mess it up a couple times. Mess it up like with your content. Don't listen to nobody because they're going to be like, post in your niche, post 3 times a day. Do it yourself, see what works for you because not everybody can sustain 3 times a day. Not everybody can sustain posting even like every single day. I always say start with 3 times a week, Come up with things that you actually enjoy doing so it doesn't become a burden. And it's the same thing with sponsors, but like sponsors is face to face. You have to be face to face. It's like it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. That's how you make money in this game, honestly. Like sponsors, everybody not gonna be able to make money off of YouTube instantly. Like, if you want to make money off of it, I'll say, like you said, find the sponsors. Me and you was having a conversation. You got to start doing live shows if you want consistent money. Live shows. That's how like the Poor Minds is making money. Horrible Decisions. people that's making money on the road. Everybody not gonna be a Joe Budden where you can just
Tonight's conversations.
Tonight's
The biggest.
conversation.
I mean, I've never seen such a crowd before in my life.
If you like, they are the blueprint of how it really go. It don't have to be in the live shows. Don't even have to be like crazy. It just could be conversation. Let the audience do all the work. They're gonna want to ask questions. They're gonna want to ask you a question. They're gonna want to ask me a question. They're gonna want to ask, you know what I'm saying? So kind of use that as a way to kind of make money.
But that's
overall.
like, okay, live shows, that's a step 10 out of, 10 steps. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
for
like,
sure.
that's not, it's definitely a goal because there is a lot of cost to it. So unless you have the money that you can back it up with, it's gonna be, you got to be realistic about it, right? So and because when you start live shows, you got to be okay with first 5 people showing up, then 10 people, and they're your friends.
Your first couple shows might be free.
They're gonna be free, and they're gonna be for your friends and for your family. But then you're gonna hook them into it. Then they're gonna tell their friends. Then you can start asking for money. So everything is a process. And like I know I always run ahead of the game because I know where I can be, and so like I'm always hungry for more. But like I understand that I'm in a very good spot for a lot of podcasts don't even make a dime with their first year. I've made money with my podcast my first year. But again, because I approach it as a business. Like I know who are coming on my show. I know I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for the interviews. So now I can go and pitch some of my sponsor. When my sponsor came to me, he said, "I want you to have this guest on." And I said, "Bet, I don't know how I'm going to get to that person, but I'm going to make it happen." Charleston White happened. It was not, I didn't even know who Charleston White was until he approached me and he said, "I want you to have a conversation with this specific person." Took me a month to do it, but I got it on. There's another person that he wants me to have on. It's going to be a much harder pool, but we'll make it happen. So it's like now you have a goal and you want to move towards that goal, but like be realistic with it. Cause like everybody wants to come in and be okay making 20 cents per video sometimes. Be okay making nothing and be okay doing it for free. And once you love doing it for free, that's when you
money
know.
gonna come.
Yeah, money's gonna come. But also like again, approach it as a business because you just doing the conversation and shooting the shit, that's not a business. Unless you're Khloe Kardashian, unless you are, people who have big marketing firms backing up them or big networks backing up them because you already built a name somewhere else. That's a whole different, but even those people, like I've had a conversation with somebody who has 1 million followers, huge name, and he still was telling me that he had to use his status and his name to get a sponsorship for his podcast. And it's like, if people of that status are having a hard time getting big sponsorships, then imagine what's going to be with us. So it's like, I feel like first of all, it's like go local, go support your local stores, go support your local, bakeries, go support your local coffee shops, local brands, because they're the ones that are actually going to build everything up because like they're building, they're also marketing. And so you are playing in your own field and then you can go bigger because now you have more money and there's more merch too. Like, again, that's another thing, but I didn't know how. I thought that, listen, when I thought of merch before, I thought you just go get a shirt, print the shit on it, you sell it. First of all, to find a shirt, a good one that you can sell for a good price, then you need to make a design. To find a designer, that's a whole different level of conversations. I had to pay 4 different designers to get the design. Like this was not done in a day. This was done in like a matter of months. It took me 4 months to get it done. 4 months. I was supposed to do it in September. Then to find somebody who can print it for a reasonable price. Then to find how to package it. Then to build a Shopify website. Then to do the photo shoot. Then to do the marketing. Then to create all of this stuff. Like there's so much that gets on the back end of it that people think that like now it makes sense why people give up because it's like it's crazy work.
Too much, I think is you kind of gotta like. I mean, we're saying all this because we've been doing it for a while, but you kind of gotta like minimize it as much as you can. Like it's not even to a point where. Even how you do your podcast, you could just do one camera, like if you want to just be honest that way. But all the stuff that we talking about, I think it just happened over time. Like we find different ways to make money. I was gonna say something else about I don't know if you do it with yours, but like adding like your own commercials.
Yeah, so that's the
thing.
next thing that's happening because now like I have merch, so now I can add that to it. Yeah. So now like I'm promoting my own brand. Now I'm promoting, but that's again, that wasn't built in a day, right? And even me when I started, I was getting so frustrated. The first after the 4th episode, I was like, well, why the numbers are not numbering? I want big guests. I want like those people on, and now I'm sitting back and thinking I was crazy to think that way because I didn't have enough experience in being good at interviews. Like I would have wasted the talent because I would not have.
That's the worst feeling.
Oh my God.
Getting somebody that you really, really wanted and not being prepared for it.
It's a whole
worst feeling.
That's why, like, even when I sat across Charleston White, I was like, man, I don't even know if I can do this because it's scary. Like, you have that pressure on you because now you got to perform. And then I had all these cards and I had all these questions, and then it got to the point where I just put the cards aside. Like, you can even look at the episode. I wasn't even looking at the cards. I literally had everything memorized, and I got so deep into the conversation where I was like, damn, okay, like, I'm doing this. But like, again, if I didn't have like 30 episodes under my belt, I don't think it would have gone that way. You know, and like a lot of times some people are just not naturally good at conversations, and then they wonder why their podcast is not going nowhere. It's like, because you
gotta find, some people just got it though. Some people got that it factor. Some people can just really have conversations, and you gotta find your ways around that. I think how you structure your podcast can kind of hide your deficiencies in a way. But then again, you have to be, you have to have a lot of creativity behind that, because I know sometimes just talking sometimes it just ain't enough. Like, sometimes you might need that funny co-host, or that, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you need to kind of make sure it's entertaining and you get your point across, or what are you actually talking about? What is your podcast?
or take a shot.
Or take a shot.
Maybe tequila will make you more talkative.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes it's okay to take a shot before shoot, or I know sometimes I might drink on my podcast. Sometimes depending on what mood I'm in.
But also, you cannot be scared, or like you cannot be, like, I'm scared to lose my job, so I can't talk about that. Like, then don't even get there. Don't even do it, because every single big podcast that made it, they all put themselves out there. Oh my God, to the levels that
I don't think nothing. I don't think Josh really care. Like, we're getting in a time where, like, I feel like, because I say this all the time, I feel like everybody should have a podcast. They should have a podcast. They should have at some point you should write a book. I just feel like certain things, because that's where it's going. Like, you can't really rely on like big platforms. You gotta create your own platform. Whether it's having a Twitch account, whatever you're doing, you gotta have your own. Like, because like we don't see the pandemic, this shit can be taken away from you anytime. Like, so you gotta make sure that you can have your own, and then you can be able to not have to rely on having a 9 to 5. Now, I'm not saying don't have it, or don't be scared, but I feel like everybody should have. So I feel like I don't say that don't be scared to.
But, you know, a lot of my guests on the show, they say that, like, not everybody can be, you know, the boss. We need the doers, too. And if that's what they want to do and they want to stay in their lane and work for corporate job, I don't knock it. I think it's amazing. I actually think it's so important to have those people that are doers and they actually love doing all these little tasks, because I hate doing that shit. I hate doing all this little admin work. I dread it so much. Like, even with Shopify, I'm like, God damn, like, I have to upload all this stuff.
That's how you told me earlier, though, like, the showing your value.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's okay to be that. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, that's your strength. You're being an assistant, being an executive assistant. You know why they get so much money? They get over $100,000 a year because they love doing what they're doing. They love scheduling. And that's their strength. So you always have to play into your strength. There's no shame in being an assistant. Like, again, tonight's conversations, the person that I know on the back end, he just doesn't like to be on camera, but that man is making crazy money and he's crazy talented. And it's just, he found his niche with that. And he's also a phenomenal tennis player. Shout out to you, buddy. Like, one of the greatest people that I've met so far. And it's amazing. So, like, not everybody's going to be Ace, you know, not everybody's going to be able to, the way that Ace hosts everything, it's like it's phenomenal, you know. And so I feel like you stay in your lane, but just find your strength and whatever that is, because not everybody's going to be able to write a book. Maybe you do it with ChatGPT. Like, I would love to write a book. Actually, that's like one of my goals, to write a book, because I love reading books, and I actually love, you know, I love listening to podcasts, and I love reading books, and I love watching interviews. That's why I went into the genre of interviews versus anything else. And a lot of people told me, like, oh, there's millions of people who interview, and why would you do that? And I said, because I like to do that. Like, to me, it's important to do that because that's something that I care for. And so if nobody else cares, then at least I care for it.
I feel that. But I don't know how you feeling, but we can end it here, y'all. We first of all, I want to say thank you for coming on the pod. For it means a lot. I know that we've been saying we're gonna do it the last couple of weeks, but I appreciate you pulling up.
It's been a year.
It's been a year, yeah, literally. But yeah, please, y'all, make sure y'all follow her on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Courtside Less, Talk Less Show. So Courtside Less on all of the platforms, Talk Less Show on Instagram, on TikTok, and Talk Less Show. It's a podcast on YouTube, and talkless.shop with one S. That's the merch. I'm dropping it literally tomorrow. Well, probably by the time it comes out, it's already going to be out. So starting with t-shirts, and then hoodies coming out end of January. And yeah, I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, man, that's good. That's dope, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Patreon. Please make sure y'all also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us at Unspoken Atlanta. Once again, man, appreciate watching the best show in Atlanta. We'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.
Bye.
Hey, Nigel. Did too hard, bruh.
Super honored, man. Shout out Nigel. Shout out everybody here. Shout out Unspoken. We in the A.